Now, let me share my own history or experience with this, but it has everything to do with you, as you will see. At one point, growing up, I don't remember exactly when, my father told me we were of the line of the priests, or the Kohanim. I grew up knowing that, the ancient Hebrew priests, but I didn't really know what it meant to be a Jewish priest. The only picture I had of priests were those of Father Melchani and St. Anthony's down the road. I didn't know what that meant, a Jewish priest. If we were descended from Irish Catholics, I didn't know what that meant. My father told me that the line of the Kohanim, he told me that just basically there were certain things. You weren't supposed to go into a cemetery because you'd avoid anything that is dead. But that didn't mean much to me growing up. And I grew up not following the ways of God, and as a teenager, certainly not, and had a rock band and all that. I didn't see myself as spiritual or having anything to do with what people saw as religion or ministry above all. Certainly not for me. And when I was about 8, I became an atheist. I was against religion. The word minister is Hebrew, is kohen, same word, priest, minister, it's a priest. When I came to the Lord, I came when I was in college. It was very soon after that I was called to go into ministry. I knew it. And then I remember going to a small church, just visiting, and there was a woman there who had been a prostitute before she knew the Lord, and she had this gift, and she called me out of the congregation and spoke things about ministry and things. She didn't know me from anybody, and I didn't look like it. She just spoke to me and said things that have come true now. But I knew I was to go into ministry, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what. And when I graduated college, I searched. I went one day. I went into the city with Jews for Jesus. I said, but that's not what it is for me. And God bless them, but it wasn't my calling. And then I went with ABMJ, which is now called Chosen People. That didn't click. It was a good time. But finally, I said, Lord, just give me a job that you would do. And he gave me a job working with disabled children. And I ministered and shared, and it was a humbling thing. It was my preparation for ministry. I led a Bible study and many other things, but that was what God had me to learn of ministry, of serving. Many people wait for a ministry in order to minister. Don't wait for a ministry to minister. Minister, and you'll have a ministry. I want to talk about your calling. In Hebrew, the word for minister and ministering is the same word. The priest is simply the one who does ministry. Serve God anyway. Serve God however you know to serve God. Do his will. That's ministry. When you do the will of God, it's ministry in some way. Your ministry can start right now, and nobody can stop that. We're not trying to stop. We're trying to start ministries with people. That's the big thing. But you need to start. If you are born again, you need to be ministering. There's no such thing as a laity and a clergy. It's all, you are born again, you are called. The first time I remember during this period after college, I was not in any full-time ministry. I would be helping Beth Israel get started, but just to help. The first time I remember starting a ministry, going to the city and ministering to the homeless in New York City with some people. We gave out food, we gave out the gospel. And we're about to go for the first time to start it off. At the last minute, before we left, a woman, a friend, a believer, went to her car and took out a kind of parchment. It was a yellow, aged paper that she found in a thrift shop. She got it for about $1. And she got it for me because of what was on it. And she had meant to give it to me for a long time, but it's something that never worked out. Now we had both cars together, so she took it out, showed it to me, but it happened to be the day that I was beginning the ministry. On the paper was an engraving or a lithograph from 1872. It was an engraving of Aaron, a picture of Aaron wearing his garments like you just saw with the Shalom team, ministering to the Lord as you just saw, offering incense. And at the bottom was engraved Hebrew words. I didn't look at them that day, but that day was all about the beginning of the ministering to the needy and the homeless. And then I brought it home, and I looked at the words in Hebrew. It was from 3,000 years before. It said, Va'asu bigdei kodesh la'aharon, achicha olvanav lahanoli, va'asu bigdei ko'eh la'aharon, achicha ulanav lechav hanoli. And this is what it said. It said, "And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and for his sons, that they might minister to me." Now, the last word, when it says they might minister to me, in Hebrew it's K-H-N, that's where I get Cahn, my last name, from. So she gave it to me on the day that we began the ministry. And just before we did that, I had gone to a thrift shop, one of my favorite places to find clothes back then. I'm not allowed to do that now. And I found a jacket that I wore for the first time as we were going to the ministry when she gave me that thing. And on that jacket was the words Levi's. You shall make holy garments for Aaron and his sons, the Levites. And so we went out and we were ministering we ministered for a long time in the city, a long period of time, to minister to the homeless. We went to Bryant Park, Port Authority, and some of the also seediest places, giving food to the homeless and gospel to the lost. But God was telling something to me at the very beginning. He said that what you do here in what you're doing to reach out to the lost and give the gospel and minister to the homeless, that is as holy as what Aaron did in the Holy of Holies. That is as holy as what Aaron did with the incense and everything else. What you do for the Lord is as holy as entering the presence, and you must do it in a manner worthy of that. Similarly, you don't wait to be ordained by people. You don't wait for honors. You minister to God. God gave me that verse and with a Levi's jacket to tell me something that he works through everything. It's just as holy. You may not see the glory of what you're doing, but it's glorious. When you serve the Lord and do his will, whatever you do is glorious. Some of you are secretaries, some of you are clean houses, some of you are accountants, some of you lawyers, but whatever you do, you're to do it as holy as if you were entering the Holy of Holies. In God, whatever you do, make it your ministry. Whatever it is, and not just whatever you are, but whatever you do, everything you do is to be holy.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page, or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.